Hey everybody, welcome back to another War of the Visions video. Today we're going to talk about our Final Fantasy Tactics 2 collaboration topic, and that is whether or not you should spend the visiore and the time to upgrade your current Ramza Orlandeau if you already have them at, let's say, Limit Break 4. Now, if you have them at Limit Break 3 and they're level 79, then I definitely think it's worth it to make that extra jump, because that's going to give them the ability to equip a TMR, and it's going to give them some more stats that will bring them to the realm of usability and high level PvP content and even high level PvE content. So that's definitely worth it, but that extra jump of going from 89 to 99, that is something that you have to think very carefully about. Before we dissect whether it's worth it to actually build these characters to 99, let's talk about what you actually get. So taking a look at the two characters here, when you get them to level 99, in general, you're always going to get your access to a TMR, you're going to get access to level 99, and you're also going to get access to job level 99, and that is a really big deal to be able to get those jobs up as well. So that's two sets of stats that you're going to get, both the job and just from the leveling. So there's a lot of things going on here, so we're going to take a look at it each individually. So we'll start with the TMRs. So first we have Ramza's outfit, which is not the best TMR. So it's got good HP, the defense is okay, and then it has some critical avoid, and then it has this ability called Entrust. Now, just looking at the TMR as armor, it is an interesting armor because it's cloth. A lot of units can equip it, and that does make it very valuable. It's an easy way to give HP to somebody, but I just don't like that you can get better sources of defense elsewhere for a lot of units. So it's fine to have, it's not a deal breaker, but Entrust, until we can turn it off, is really annoying because you really don't need to give TP to somebody else that often. It can really annoy me with changing people's AIs. Some people will never use it, which is fine, and then some people will use it when they really have no reason to, and that is quite annoying. So I really don't like Entrust, but I don't mind this TMR. It's definitely not a reason to actually max Ramza on its own. Now, looking at Cid's TMR, it is a lot better. It's better than Ramza's right off the bat because it is an accessory and not a piece of armor. It has a better ability called Bolt Barrage, which reduces damage taken for 3 consecutive times, which is very cool. And it is a good TP skill. So it's 30 TP. It's going to give you 15 AP. It gives you an okay amount of HP, gives you defense, and then it also gives you agility. So anything that gives you agility is really great, because it's easy, or it's nice to be able to stack agility on a character, especially not a fast character. So this is a lot better than Ramza's, and this could be a reason why you would max your Orlandeau, especially if you don't have a lot of TMRs. Then you definitely want to consider this for sure. So the next thing we're going to talk about are the actual stats that you're going to get from these units. Now, when we do this, we're going to talk about these units at LB4, so level 89, which means their job levels are 12. We'll also compare this to level 99, but still job levels 12, because not everybody goes through the effort of farming red materials, and getting them to job level 12 is as far as that person's going to go. And then we will finally compare it to the big level 99 and job levels 15. So taking a look at Orlandeau specifically, you can see his stats here, and I will compare them. I'll put them all up on screen for you later. But we can just take a look as we rank him up here. We'll go to level 99. We're going to see his HP jump up there by quite a bit, and his other stats. And then again, if we go to the level jobs level 15, we're going to get even more stats. So if that happened too fast, don't worry, I'm going to queue it up for you right here, a little chart that you can pause and you can take a look at if you want. But basically, looking at all of his stats, if you just want to do level 99 and you don't think you're going to go through the trouble of the red materials, then you are going to get increased stats across the board. The significant ones I can see are HP, then definitely strength, and even agility for sure, going up by 2, that's great. And then going to the level 99 with job level 15, you can see in the far right I have the total change, and this is how much it's going up overall from level 89, job level 12, all the way up to max jobs and max levels. You can see he gets 439 HP, he gets 8 TP, plus 1 starting AP, plus 23 strength, plus 6 magic, plus 11 dexterity, plus 9 luck, and plus 4 agility. So that's not by any means insignificant. Those are some important stats, and I'll pop it up here again so you can take a look at the differences between these 3 versions of Orlandeau. And again, if you need to pause your screen, you can just do some comparisons, but this is your 89 versus 99 jobs 12, and then 99 jobs 15. So obviously stats going up, that is really, really nice. And we can actually compare this to equipping a piece of equipment, maybe a TMR or something. So looking at the total change there from going from level 89 to 99 with level 15 jobs, it's like you just equipped the best piece of gear ever. And that's something that you're doing for your characters, so why wouldn't you do the leveling process or the limit break process? And you can take a look. I use their TMRs again, and then I compared them to a couple other TMRs. For example, with Etros TMR, the Boxer's Badge, you're equipping that to get some HP, some agility, some critical rate. Well, doing this whole process with your characters, getting them to level 99, working on their jobs, it's like you're finding a piece of equipment that you can put on them, but you're getting that permanently and no matter what equipment they have on. So it's just going to be on them forever. And I know that sounds kind of silly to say it that way, but it is important to think about these types of things as these small incremental changes you can make in your unit to make them more competitive. Where's every single place you can gather a stat from? And that's going to be a really important part of the decision-making process for you is, do you need the extra stats here? And in Orlandeau's case, do you think 439 HP is a significant amount of HP to add on to his total kit? So now taking a look at Ramza, we're going to take a look at how his stats go up, and they're not going to go up as much for like strength, but then you'll see that his magic goes up here, and again HP significant. So back at the beginning we were at 2296 for HP, and we're all the way up at 2740. Magic or strength goes over 300. Lots of really good stats here. So how does that look in our chart? Well, there you go. So total changes, total stats, Ramza's going to be getting 444 HP. He's going to get a starting AP, which is great. It could be significant. 20 strength, 17 magic, 11 dex, 9 luck, and 3 agility. And I really can't stress how important every little point of agility can really be. So that is definitely a pretty big incentive to be leveling him. So taking a look again, I'll show you this way so you can see them all compared against each other. If you'd like to pause your video, then go ahead. And then otherwise, we'll talk about the next kind of comparison here. So the thing that I wanted to bring up here is actually equipment. So we'll take a look at equipment here, and I'll make it a little bit easier to see for you all. There we go. So you can see here that we're looking at 3 different swords, and I've picked the assault version for each sword. And the reason that I'm bringing this up is because there are people that are going to choose to make the Negronok, and they're going to make it a +5 to get the slash attack, and they're going to try to get that 162 attack on the assault version. And there's going to be some people that are just fine with the long sword, and some people that are just fine with the mithril sword to get their different versions or different levels of attack power on their weapons. So there are other ways to stack your stats for your units, and if you haven't maximized those ways, then you don't necessarily need to maximize the unit, especially a limited time unit. And this is part of my argument to say, do you really need to spend visiore to get shards to level someone up to 99? And I think for like the most competitive players, then the answer is just going to be yes. But there's just so many ways to get stats, and think about how you could get for Ramza, he could get an extra 20 strength. Well, what weapon do you have on him? Could he get an extra 20 attack from that? There's a lot of different ways you can go. So that I wanted to make that comparison. Again, similarly, when you make these decisions, you do something like, for example, you do something like choose different versions of weapons. So Ragnarok, we have the assault version, the magic version, the vital version. And if you go for vital to have kind of a balance of both, well, you're losing a possible 33 attack from the assault version when you go vital, but you're going to get more magic. So there's so many different ways that you can add and subtract stats from your characters, and that's kind of the argument for why 89s can work, because there's probably some Ramzas out there with the vital Nagranock that are doing very, very well, and they are missing 33 attack they could be having, hypothetically. Just like your 89 Ramza could be losing or missing the 20 attack from the 99 version. Really, when it comes down to it, depending on what you're doing, you're going to be just fine not maxing the unit. And I'm just trying to make you feel good about it if that's something that you want to do. But it is something that you have to consider. Okay, so should you build these guys up? If you have them at 79, we said definitely go for 89, but should you actually go for 99? Let's take it all into account. So why should you do it? Because you're competitive in PvP. And when I say competitive, I'm talking about guild battles and arena. You're going for very high ranks for guild battles. You're pushing your team every day. You're not always getting stars, or you're not always getting 6 stars, and you really need that competitive edge. Then you definitely would consider bringing these 2 units to 99 if you had either of them. You would also do this if you use these characters in high level PvE, or they fill a very important role in your party that you can't otherwise fill. So for example, let's say you have Rain and you have Engelbert and you have Ayaka and Medina, but you just don't have that physical attacker, and Orlandeau is your only physical attacker. You don't know when you're gonna be able to pull one. Well, then it might make sense to develop that one guy that you do have. But if, let's say, you have Stern as well, you also have Venera, and you also have all these other attackers, well then Orlandeau might not be as big a priority for you. And I'm not going to do this whole thing where, you know, Orlandeau is such a great character, I'm going to tell you you just have to build him because he's Orlandeau. This is your account and you get to do whatever you want to do. So really it's analyzing your own account and seeing where you are and what niche this character fills and whether or not you should actually level them. So the third reason is they have a great TMR that will overall help your team. So in the case of Orlandeau, that might be his TMR might be something that would really fit one of your other units. And this is an argument that could be used not for Orlandeau, not for Ramza, for any unit. So another example could be somebody like Mashery, who's a unit that might not be useful to your party, but you've been building her because you like her, but her TMR might be useful to your party. Well, you have to consider that kind of thing. And then the fourth reason, it's the be-all end-all, it's the most important reason. Do you really like this unit? If so, do you want to see them max? And that's something that will make you happy because you want to do your best with that unit. Then that's the biggest reason. That's the best reason. Max that unit. All the power to you. Now, if you're not going to build, if you're not going to go from 89 to 99, then that might be because you just use this unit for farming stuff, for lower level content. This is not a main unit for you. So you have to evaluate that. Don't do it just for the sake of it. Don't do it just because you can. Really think about whether you actually use this unit in any of your main content, or if you actually would use it, him or her or whatever unit it is. Because again, we're thinking about overall. Like, you're gonna have to make this decision all the time if you're gonna buy shards in a shop, or if you're only gonna do hard quests. If you're even gonna do a hard quest or not. How do you make that decision? Well, you can kind of think about what we've talked about here. So you've already have multiple units that fill this role in your party. We talked about that. If you already have every single type of tank in the game, are you gonna keep pulling for tanks? Well, no, probably not. So if you already have a bunch of guys just like Orlandeau, then you might not build him here unless you really like him or you think he's powerful enough to take you to the next level. Ramza is kind of interesting because he just fills so many roles. I would recommend him to anybody, and I think that he would support anyone's team well. So I definitely do like Ramza quite a bit. Reason number 3, not to build a unit all the way to 99, their TMR has Entrust, or it's just not that good. So if the TMR is garbage and you just don't feel the character, then you don't need to build them. And then finally, you don't like the unit. Because sometimes you build units and you end up not liking them, or you built them because you thought they were good but you didn't like them. And in that case, if you really don't like a unit, what's it doing on your account? You should re-roll your account, delete the account, start all over again, and just kind of, you know, make sure you don't pull them. Just guarantee that you won't pull them, and then you'll be good to go. So that's it. That's the answer. I mean, there wasn't really an answer there. I just kind of gave you some advice, and then you have to make the decision on your own. But what I will say is, you can't go wrong building either of these specific units to 99. I think that Ramza and Orlandeau are obviously both very good units. This is a fantastic opportunity to max them, so you should not feel bad if that's what you choose to do. But I did want to do this as an experiment because, again, you're going to be in this situation all the time with all sorts of units, limited or not. So it's good to start thinking about why you have a unit, what you use it for, and what kind of priority it should actually be given. So in this case, if you do want an opinion from me, then please go ahead and max these units. But at the end of the day, it's going to be your decision and something that you want to do. And if you don't want to do it, then don't do it. Okay? That's going to be it for me. But I hope this video was useful to you. And if it was, let me know in the comments below. You can also join us on Discord, and then if you don't mind, give the channel a like and a sub and all that crap that you can do to help me do my thing. So thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching this video. You can show your support with a like and subscribe, and by checking out my Patreon at patreon.com/MassidiaGaming. Until next time, keep it real, Massidians.